Tom Brady plans to retire after 22 seasons, 7 Super Bowl titles. A source confirms. I'll tell you when I believe it. When I hear it from his mouth. What is up, everybody? My name is Advance, and this is Advance Sports Talk. All right. So, this is a popular topic to talk about. So, we're going to talk about it. First off, this is not a sponsored video, but if Chevrolet wants to send me some free cash vouchers for some maintenance on my Impala, I'm not going to stop them. All right, so the question, a popular topic that's going around the internet this week is, will Tom Brady retire? I voiced my opinion on the this past weekend's breakdown. Quite frankly, it's too early to be asking this question. Now, being an athlete, after a season, at the end of a season, especially after a heartbreaking loss, you know, like, there are a wide range of emotions that go through your head. You know, like, first there's the what ifs. What if I was a little bit better? What if I was a little bit more healthy? What if I went left instead of going right? You know, so, you know, there's the what ifs. Then there's the, the aches and the pains, you know, that set in. And you're like, all right, yeah, I gotta, my shoulders messed up. My knees are really like swollen. You know, my foot's tight. You know, so it's a lot that goes into like a postseason. Like how do I come back? If I did think about coming back. And right now it's like, you know, then there's the last thing, which is, you know, especially after a loss, the despair. You know, it's like, dang, it's the end of the season. You know, it's over with. Hold up, I just got a sports notification. Brady yet to inform the Bucs on plans. So I'm not studying clickbait articles. Tom Brady plans to retire after 22 seasons, 7 Super Bowl titles. A source confirms. No. I'll tell you when I believe it. When I hear it from his mouth. Now, please excuse that interruption. So, going back into what I said. So, that game was just Sunday last week. So it is like way too early for you to tell, like, if someone is planning on coming back. I'm pretty sure the first thing that's on his mind is relaxing, resting. Now, the quotes that he has said is that it's a family decision. You know, I know that, you know, Giselle wants him home, and she's been very patient. So, like I said, I thought he was going to retire after 5, but he just kept playing. So, look, I mean, he takes care of himself. He's in great shape, you know, so takes care of his body, you know, health-wise and food-wise. So, you know, hey, if he does retire, I would say he has earned a well-deserved respite, you know. And, you know, like, if he does come back, because he does have another year on his contract, I'd be glad to have him. But on the flip side, this has the entire sports world holding their breath, especially down in the Tri-City area, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, and Tampa. Down in Tampa Bay, obviously, and all fans connected with Tampa Bay. So, of course, there's the half that says, "Oh no, we suck again," and then there's the other half, the very small minority, or as it appears, it's a small minority of people that are like, "Hey, we'll be okay." I'm in that category. I'm like, look, we're gonna be okay. So they're like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen? The team's gonna break up now because everybody that was there before Tom Brady." All right, off the top of my head, I can count like maybe 6 free agents that came there for Tom Brady. So hold on, let's see. We got Gronk, Fournette, AB. Well, AB's already gone. Le'Veon Bell came there because he wanted to. Shady came there because he wanted to play with Tom Brady. All right, so maybe it's a little bit more. Shady McCoy, Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman he played like one game this season. But I'm gonna talk about Richard Sherman in a second because he has definitely earned a Buck Dynasty call out. So yeah. So I think that is 6 right there. So and granted, like when Tom Brady showed up, as I said in my last video, he really flipped the culture in Tampa because we were so used to always falling short or just never even being in contention at all. Like, so yeah, man, I would say if he does come back, we definitely don't want Brady to make a decision that he's not happy with. So we don't want him to come back because he feels like he owes us something. But in his heart, he feels like, like he's done. On the other side, on his family side, I'm pretty sure they feel the same way. They don't want him home, but he's a husk of himself because he's just like, man, I really want to be out on the field. Trust me, I know that feeling. All right. So, what will happen if Tom Brady retires? We have notable free agents that are up for trade. Well, not up for trade. We have free agents whose contracts are up. First things first, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this out of Jason Light's hands. We signing Chris Godwin back. Now, I hear people yelling, "What? But he got hurt this year. He's injured. We shouldn't sign him back because he's injury prone and blah blah blah." First of all, any injury that happened in that Saints game, you got to throw that out because it was obvious that there was shades of Bountygate that happened. How is it that our 3 top players got hurt in that game? Godwin, Evans, and Fournette. Like, come on now. Almost on back-to-back plays, if you ask me. Luckily, Mike Evans his injury wasn't as severe, so he was able to finish up the season and complete his 1,000 yards, thus keeping the streak going. But look, last year when I made the first Buck Dynasty video, now, yeah, I said that between the 3, Chris Godwin, Levante David, and Shaq Barrett, that one of them is going to have to get a deal. So they're going to have to agree that Shaq Barrett deserves a big payout because he took a discount to come to us. He could have stayed in Denver and fought for a starter job, but he chose to come to us for less money for the option to start. Well, no, I'm sorry. They was going to pay him more to be a backup in Denver. He took less money to come to us. Secondly, I said somewhere between Levante David and Chris Godwin, one of them is going to get it, is going to have to work out a deal. They're going to work out a deal with one and then franchise tag the other one. They gave Levante David his 2 years and they franchise tagged Chris Godwin. Now, I'm pretty sure that they would have wanted to keep Chris Godwin. Normally, you know, when you get franchise tagged, that's that used to be like damn, I'm the shit, you know, like, yeah, you know, just the word franchise, you know, it just sounds all like, you know, sparkly and glittery, you know, like, you know, like a badge of honor. Nowadays, people was like, what, you don't want to give me my money? Like, bro, you're getting paid top 5 money, relax. Like, so now this year comes around. There was some very, you know, some maneuvers that happened in the offseason last year. We had all this cap space. If Tom Brady does retire, he, like I said, he had a year left on his contract, so you know there's more cap space right there. And yeah, so look, of course we want Chris Godwin back, because for those of you that got real caught up in the culture that got flipped, let's not forget Tom Brady, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin was the premier wide receiver duo when we had Jameis. 2019, they were the top wide receiver duo. So of course, why would we not bring him back? Like, come on now. All right, AB is gone. We still got Scotty Miller. We still got Justin Watson, who did not play this season due to an injury. He's been on IR for the whole season. Yeah, like, of course, like we got Chris Godwin. And I don't even know why we even playing with this one. Of course, we're gonna try to bring our center back, the core of our offense. Like, oh my God, like, come on now. Now, who I am worried about is this guy, OJ Howard. Now, OJ Howard has had a very troubled history. Now, he'll have like maybe 1 or 2 games a year where he'll just break out and just go on a run. You know, so yeah, like they I think there was even rumors swirling around talking about that they was gonna trade him. That was 2 years ago, I believe. But last year. So let me talk to you about this guy, right? So he'll have 1 or 2 games where he'll just go off. Unfortunately, those will be the games that usually put him out for the season. Like right when they figure out a scheme to put him in, or the stars align just right, you know, for OJ Howard to have a great game, that's when he goes out. So Gronk, big ups this man. Mike Evans, big ups this man. So even when they asked Evans about the supposed rumor, he said, "What, they gonna trade OJ? That wouldn't be smart. That wouldn't be smart." Secondly, Gronk said when asked about OJ Howard, he brings the juice. In other words, he brings his A game. So I have a theory about OJ Howard this year, because he hadn't had that much. I think he had he hadn't had that many catches, obviously. So I feel as though they didn't use him as much this year because of the Achilles injury that he had last year that put him out. So I think this year was pretty much a recovery season for him. So next year he'll be another year removed from that Achilles injury, and maybe they'll open up the offense, which further answers the question of what happens if Gronk decides to leave. Because it's clear that Gronk is only there because Brady is there. Them two are like peas in a pod. You don't get one without the other. So, not to say that Gronk hasn't had fun in Tampa, but remember, Gronk was retired before he came back to play for us. So, I mean, hey, I'm just saying. I think that if Gronk does retire, OJ will be the guy that takes up that mantle. Because people forgot we do have more than 2 tight ends on the roster. Even though Cameron Brate is great, but we got OJ too. So if these 2 guys go, we're gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. So so if the only question would be is what's going to happen with our coordinators. Byron Leftwich has been getting interviews, and right now he's a top candidate for Jacksonville. No official announcement has been voiced yet. They said Todd Bowles has been getting interviews. I haven't really looked into where he's been getting interviewed, but I feel that if one leaves, BA will probably promote the other ones a head coach or assistant head coach. So I don't know. I think that's what's gonna happen. He would pick one of those 2 to succeed him, because those two guys are his picks. He's the only reason why, because he was done coaching at one point. They're the only reason why he came. He said, hey, I'll take the coaching job if I can get these 2 guys. If I can get these 2 guys, you got me. And here they are. So, back to Brady. Now the question is, oh my God, what are we going to do for a quarterback? I've heard people say Russell Wilson. I've heard people say Deshaun Watson. Well, we could probably get really good deals for both of those guys. I mean, considering I think Wilson is a free agent. I think Watson was a free agent. Watson was trying his hardest to get traded this year, and then he just sat on the roster, sat on the Texans roster, man. But oh man, honestly, I don't think they fit our system, because we don't have a running quarterback system, So I mean, but here's a thought: we could just get behind the quarterback that we drafted in the 2nd round, Kyle Trask. I mean, we're going to give him a shot. See, before we start shouting out quality free agents. Oh, man. Yeah, so we still got Gabbert. Gabbert is, I guess, solid. He's, in my opinion, he's not a franchise quarterback, but he's a quarterback that can bail us out for a couple of games should we need him. Not to mention we still got Ryan Griffin. I know people just love Ryan Griffin. Oh man, no, I'm joking. Griffin's all right. I love Griffin. So, and there is a third option. There's another option out there. Hear me out. Jameis Winston is also a free agent this year. I mean, he does know the system. If they did decide to bring Jameis back, he's had 2 years under Sean Payton. He's got the LASIK surgery. He's already had his one bad year in the system, which Carson Palmer said is bound to happen considering, the aggressive, no risk it, no biscuit style offense that Bruce Arians likes to run. Like 7-step drops, 50-yard bombs. And, that kind of had to get amended when Tom Brady came on. He said, look, I can't be throwing the ball 50 times, a game or 50 yards downfield every first down. Granted, I can, but let me loosen the defense up a little bit, and then I promise you'll get your 50-yard bomb. So yeah. So maybe with Arians having that insight or enlightenment, that might cause him to change his offense just a little bit. Because, Jameis was on a prove-it year. And on top of that, he had to learn a new system. And the system that he had to learn was a high turnover risk rate. So, I mean, I'm willing to forget about it. I'm willing to forgive Jameis if he wants to come back. I mean, you gotta think about it. But his last year with us, he threw 33 touchdowns, second to Lamar Jackson's 36. He threw for 5,000 yards, 5,113 yards to be exact, I believe. Yeah, 5,100 yards. So he threw for the most yards that season. Tom Brady this year threw for 5,300. Unfortunately, those 30 interceptions is what is what sticks out in everybody's mind. Now, I feel as though by now Jameis has the experience to cut those in half, especially since he knows the system. So, just some things to think about. Now, last person I want to talk about is Coach Sherman. Yes, I'm calling him Coach Sherman because that's the capacity that he operated in this offseason. When he's always been on the sideline, but I think they officially listed him as a coach in the last week of the season. And I don't need to tell you about the effect that he's had on our defense. Like, you saw it in the Rams game. 4 turnovers. If Sherman doesn't re-sign as a player, and he definitely belongs on our staff. I'll tell you what. Or maybe just he's one of those guys that's just here for Brady. But hey, teach their own. Personally, I think regardless, Jameis could come back if you don't feel Trask is ready. But nevertheless, Trask is our future. We wouldn't have drafted him in the second round if we didn't think so. So, in any case, that's it for this episode of Buck Dynasty. My name is Advance. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on everything. I'm out.